All right? A grey beard, hair that grows from the nostrils, the ears, across the shoulders and even down the back. Yes, the menopause has affected my wife in lots of different ways, but between us, we've been able to remedy this with some hair removal cream. My wife has also got a bit of an addiction lately to Nando's chicken. And that's because she's going through something called the peri-menopause. Now, I get a bit of excessive hair as well, and a few years ago, I had to invest in one of these personal trimmers, you know, the sort of things, up the nose and in the ears. Well, when I first got this thing, I was using it once a month. But just lately, I'm using this thing twice a week. It's costing me a fortune in batteries. What's that all about? Middle ages, well, that's what that's about. I've also got a single hair that grows in the middle of my back. Now, it's about that long, 10 inches, and it's blonde. Now, I haven't been blonde since I was 5 years old. I can wrap this thing around my finger, but obviously I can't pull it out because it hurts too much. I've never been good with pain, but since I have been middle-aged, I'm even worse. Like I say, I'll stub my toe and anyone would think I'd broken my leg. But this hair, eventually I have to get my wife to give me a hand to pull it out. And it then turns into something from some old Western film. I've downed half a bottle of scotch and I'm biting down on an old leather belt or a piece of wood. She's tugging it, I got tears streaming down my face, and anyone would think she's removing a bullet from my back with a pair of pliers. In the end, I make such a fuss about this that she just snips the thing off. And then 2 weeks later, there it is again, a 10-inch long blonde hair. I was trying to think of the moment, the defining moment where I actually knew that I was middle-aged, that moment where I turned into my own father. And it was quite simple, actually. It was when I switched from Radio 1 to Radio 2. So if you're out there and you listen to Radio 2, you're middle-aged, probably. I was out with my youngest son not so long ago, and I had to stop in a shop for something. I don't know where we was going, where we'd been, or what I stopped for. I'm middle-aged, can't remember that far back. But anyway, I left him in the car, and when I got back in, started the engine up, there was an awful thudding noise coming from the back, and there was a whiny noise like the alarm was going off. Well, I checked all the warning lights, nothing, and I was just about to get out the car to see what was wrong when I realised he had actually switched the station from Radio 2 to Radio 1. That's what that was. Also, mentioning middle-aged, it creeps up on you from nowhere, and you do turn into your own father. You become old-fashioned. Your music taste, your dress sense, everything, it's all gone, out the window. You can try as much as you want, but you're old. But what I did a few years ago, now whether this is some kind of midlife crisis, I don't know, but I bought myself an Xbox. The reason for this is not because I like to sit there on my own playing on video games, but my 3 boys have all got an Xbox. And I enjoy spending some time with them, even if it's just with a pair of headphones on, playing on a game. They also enjoy it because they can have a laugh at their own dad's expense. Now, we all play on something called Call of Duty. Now, this is some kind of war game where the aim of it is to shoot as many people as you can and not be killed. I enjoy it. I'm rubbish, but I enjoy it. Now, I'm running around without a clue what I'm doing. I'm ducking where I should be running, I'm walking into walls where I should be climbing ladders, and by the time I've lifted my gun to shoot at somebody, some 10-year-old from Florida has put 6 bullet holes in my head. That's how bad I am at this. I'm running round in circles, spinning round, and when I do actually see someone and try to shoot them, I end up firing up at the sky and falling over on my back. You can't even fall over on your back on this game. That's how bad I am. And I'd like to just finish on a little note with the menopause. My wife has got a little bit of OCD crept in now due to the menopause, and she knows it's there. I try to be patient and understanding, but it's awful to watch. I'll give you an example. When we go to bed of a night, my wife sets an alarm. Now she's got to be up at 6:30, so she sets an alarm for 6:15. She also sets an alarm for 6:17, 6:19, 6:21 and so on. There's at least 4, but more often than not there's 6 or 7 alarms. She puts her phone out of reach, so she's got to actually get up in the morning to switch it off. And she puts the little symbols across, so you've got the little green icons on the phone, you know the sort. She does this 2 or 3 times. She'll actually get back into bed after setting the phone, all these alarms, and then she'll jump out of bed just to double check it. 2 or 3 times she does this. And then in the end, she shows me the phone just so I can confirm that the little green icons are all on. And she's still doubting it, and I say, look, leave it. And then in the morning, when the first alarm goes off, she jumps out of bed, crawls out of bed, goes and switches the first one off. By the time she's back in with the quilt over her, the second alarm's going off. This goes on, like I say, 4, 5, 6 times. I'm wide awake now. I haven't got to even be up at that time. But that's where the patience and understanding comes in. So it is funny to watch, but it's not funny at the same time. And on my next one of these, I will go in a little bit more in depth into how we can help our girlfriends, wives, partners and so on to be more understanding and patient. I've got a few little tips. But for now, I think I'm going to leave it at that because my wife wants me to give her a hand with a bikini line. So, ta-da!